guys, this is Tarot with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and today I'm so excited to be doing a review of the Santa Muerte Oracle. I have the Santa Muerte Tarot, and I think that this Oracle deck, just pairs so nicely with that. I mean, it does help that it was created by the same person, Fabio Lastrani, who I am enamored by his art and his skill and knowledge in deities and just alchemical workings and the universe and gods and goddesses and just putting it all together in these beautiful pieces of art. First in his beautiful 78 cards of the Santa Muerte Tarot, and now in these 32 beautiful cards in the Santa Muerte Oracle. Okay, so I want to show you guys the box first, and I actually got this off of Amazon, so not too hard to find. You can see that there's some nice silver foil on this box, Santa Muerte Oracle, Book of the Dead. And just kind of going around so you can see. Okay, and this is published by Los Carabeos, so of course it's going to be in several different languages. Okay, so let's dive into this because it's actually really intricate. I mean, you don't have to. I'm going to dive into the guidebook first because although I wouldn't say it's a huge guidebook, but it's very informative for, I can't believe that there's so much in the guidebook. So let's take a look at that. And you know that it is broken up into different languages in here, but the section that I read, in English, there's just so much in there. So I'm not one that's really a big guidebook person, meaning I don't really use the guidebook really at all with a lot of my oracle decks or even my tarot decks, just because I'm an intuitive reader. However, there are at least a couple of decks that I will pull out the guidebook because I think what the guidebook has to say is very, very important. And so it's with this one, I'm going to be using the guidebook every once in a while, if not all the time, because I'm just I really love what the artist has to say about these cards. Okay, so I'm going to put the cards off to the side for just a moment too. And let me show you guys the cover of the book. Okay, and then here's the back. All right, so let's open her up. And you can see that it's obviously broken into a lot of different languages. I love the poem at the beginning. I am the sage, the old woman, the girl. I am the sun, the moon, the stars, and the wind. I am the earth, the water, the fields, green grass. I am the melody of the ancestors. I am the children's heartbeat. I am the great spirit that never left. I am the mother. I am the daughter, sister, teacher, and disciple, by Flor de Belén. So beautiful. And this card is actually the light card, which is great. Okay, so it gives you just a brief little hey, if you don't know who Santa Muerte is, this is who she is. She goes by a few different names, also Calavera Catrina. Calavera is the name given to the sugar skulls that you guys see in Dia de los Muertos altars and things like that. Here we have all the cards here. Okay, so all the cards are broken up into different groups. So we have the emanation group, which is the first 8 cards, and they represent the archetype of concepts, which are abstract, innate, and primitive concepts that form the basis and the origin for any material or immaterial form. There's creation cards, formation cards, action cards. Okay, and then they talk about the 4 worlds here coming together as one by an omnidirectional flow. Its purpose varies depending on how we wish to use the oracle and the way in which we wish to see it, which I think is freaking awesome. Okay, so going into the world of emanations first, we have the first card, which is darkness. But a lot of these cards interconnect. So it's not just oh, here's one card. Oh, here's another card. There's a lot of cards that go together, and I've already pulled out a few in here so that you guys can see. Okay, so let's look at this one. Okay, so the first card here, card number 3, is the Chaos card. And it talks about the card representing the shapeless primordial soup, the alchemist's receptacle, the palette held by the artist before he starts painting, as shown in the art card in 26. 26 is actually an error. The card is actually meant to be 29. But you know, it's not really off-putting. I figured it out myself. So here you could see the Chaos card is really down here. And then you see the person is painting the Sun card. So you can kind of see how those two would go together. Okay, and then there's more connections, but let's get into some other ones. Okay, so then we have the Order card, and that card would be the exact opposite of the Chaos card, but from Chaos comes Order, and this is our Order card. So remember, this being our Chaos card, then comes Order, and from Order sometimes Chaos. So yeah, I think those are beautifully connected over here. Okay, and then we have the balance of our feminine and masculine card. So here we have our masculine being the opposite of our feminine card here. Okay, so again, those being connected. Okay, so then we have some Aztec gods and goddesses. This god here is the king of the dead and the afterlife, and he rules the underworld along with his wife here. So she is the goddess of the underworld and the afterlife. So you can see that they basically go together with their backgrounds. And if there we go, we attach it like this, you can see how it's actually one picture. You see how the spider webs connect? They're meant to be together. So isn't that awesome? Okay. Then it also talks about the goddess of the underworld being connected with the feminine card. And you can kind of see with the purple drapes up here that she connects to this feminine card. So you're like, hey, you go together. And, you know, just a little reminder that this is the divine feminine. Okay. The god of night, of war, education, and temptation is seen here, this Aztec god here. And he is governed by the archetype of chaos. So chaos coming back into the picture here. So you can see how all these cards are interconnected, you know, from those 4 different worlds they mentioned at the beginning of the guidebook. Okay, so then they talk about light and darkness. They also talk about the goddess of the waters, lakes, seas, and sailors. She's also the goddess of beauty and fertility. So you can see her here. She's just flowing with emotion, but she's also connected to our love card here. And you can see how they are very similar to each other. So having the balance of water and fire, and down here, lightning strikes and water. So they're definitely one in the same. Beautiful. This next goddess here is the goddess of earth, of sex, of the moon, and of birth. And she is connected to the balance of the feminine and the masculine. So she is the gatekeeper of balance, basically, here. And here you can see that she is giving birth. So almost like our Empress card. Although, and having the moon behind her, kind of like the high priestess, but also being, I guess she would be like the emperor and the empress, the high priest and the high priestess. Okay, here we have the god of creations, and it says that he may be one of the most important Aztec gods. He was the god of knowledge, of dawn, of merchants, of art and professions, and he is connected to intellect. So you can see the stacking of the books here and also the stacking of the books here. So you can, it's just a little hint that these go together. Also to help you out with your readings, if you're pulling, maybe just doing one card reading, that would definitely help you out. Okay, the last couple of cards that I pulled, I mean, there's more connections throughout here, but just for the sake of time, and so you guys get an idea, I'm gonna show you Shadow, which is also connected to the Darkness card. Okay, so here we have Shadow, and I don't know if you guys can see, there's all these hands and skulls like coming after this guy in the Shadow card, and here we have Darkness. So cool. Okay, and so that's pretty much how the guidebook runs. You know, it shows you which cards are connected to which, from which world is connected to which other world, because remember, the artist has divided this up into 4 different worlds. Okay, so it'll give you some information here and some advice from the dead. If we go towards the back of this section in English, it tells you how to use it. So you could do a simple reading, you can pull some inspirational cards, or you can use it like a Ouija board. So if you put all the cards out from numbers 1 to 32 and put them face down, you'll get something that looks like this. And that's why each of the backs of the cards has what looks like a different backing. Okay, and that's because it is actually forming a Ouija board. So what the artist says you could do is, instead, since you can't really use a planchette on here, you would just kind of wave your hand over it and go where you feel the energy, and then flip that card over, and then that would be your message. So it's kind of like what some people do anyway, when some people just like to spread their cards out all over and then they go to where they are most drawn, except this is more, I think it's an interesting take, you know, making it look like the Ouija board. Okay, and then you have some interesting information about the author artist, of course. Okay, and then that is the end of the English section. All right, so let me just show you guys the cards now. Okay, so as far as shininess, you know, it does have a coating to kind of protect your cards. It's not like ultra shiny like some cards, but it's not matte either. It's, I guess, a little bit more shiny than like an ultra matte, but okay. I also have my Santa Muerte tarot here, just so you can see sizing of the cards. Okay, so this is my Santa Muerte tarot, which is your standard tarot size. And you put them together and that's how big your cards are. But I love, you know, since it's the same artist, they just really go together. It's just, I just love how the cards just have like bits and pieces of the other cards, so that you could just, I don't know, I think it's a nice touch, and it makes them seem just so much more involved than your standard Oracle deck. Okay, so for me, I have a hard time reading these alone. I prefer to match them with my tarot deck, and when I do that, oh my gosh, the readings are insane, you guys, insane in the membrane. Okay, so I just would like to show you the images now. You don't have to go out and buy this deck. I'm more just, I think it's really interesting. That's why I'm talking about it. I think the deck itself, you know, the art, yes, beautiful. It's an interesting concept. It's an interesting deck. Okay, so let's take a look at the cards. Again, there's 32 of them. And there's a lot of detail going on in here. Gosh, his talent as a digital artist, a graphic artist, is just amazing. And my boyfriend's older brother, he's a graphic artist, like that's what he does for a living. And just, I know how involved it is and like the knowledge that you need to be able to do something like this. So it's amazing. I'm just like watching all these cards just like come together. And this card always pops up for me. I kind of feel like this is me. You got Santa Muerte, like the Judgment card over there. Just these scenes and just how it's not just it's not just an image, like there was a lot of thought that went into these images. Here's the other part of that sun. It's that birth card. And this one is interesting because I was like, oh, it's like the devil card, but I like the guidebook's interpretation that it's your instinct, it's your drive, it's what makes you do what you do. Okay, so let me just go ahead and pull you guys a card. We'll look at what the guidebook has to say. So this would be like a general reading. So, you know, maybe it'll resonate with you, maybe it won't, but I just kind of want to show you what this would look like. Okay, so I'm gonna flip these this way now. Now you can see the backs. Okay, well that card just flew off. Well, I'm gonna grab that card and I think that's gonna be our message. Okay, so the card that flew off was card number 19, which is the memory card. And I like that how this guy's cleaning up his head here because he lacks a head, so he's cleaning his head, standing on his head. It says, memory is the capacity to conserve and recall information, emotions, and events by searching within our minds. It forms one of the bases of human knowledge, and it is fed by the sensory impressions left on us by what surrounds us and will form the next material world of actions. Memory is also the function that allows us to recall our ancestors, the people we have loved that have left us, just like our past experiences. Advice from the dead. Take advantage of the reserve of culture and experience that the people that came before us have accumulated. Beautiful message. Okay, so that's it. That was my review of the Santa Muerte Tarot. And, you know, and I felt that, you know, I needed to take a little bit more time on this just because it's just so involved. It's not just beautiful pictures, you know, on cards, which, you know, I'm not knocking any other oracle decks. I love all the oracle decks that I have. I think that they all serve their different purposes. I think this is more for, you know, instead of me just like, hey, this is my card of the day, although I could totally use it for this. For me, this is more, I'm going to be doing some in-depth readings. I think that I could use this for client readings, but I would be pairing it with the Santa Muerte Tarot. You know, I just feel that they just really go together so nicely. So yeah. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you have any comments or questions, please place that in the comment section down below. If you want me to use these in a reading with you, just let me know upon booking, and head over to www.kittenswaitsandtarot.com to get set up with any one of the number of readings that I have there. There's also a link to my Etsy shop where I have room and body sprays, magical healing salves, and bracelets that I make. So definitely go check all that out. And yes, I'm making my own oracle deck. It's already been made, but I'm kind of working with the printer right now. So if you would like to help support that, head over to the KWT tribe over at patreon.com/kittenswaitsandtarot. I'm super excited about it. You know, that's why I'm like looking at all these different boxes with, yes, I want to do the gold foil too. And there's, you know, and I'm just like using all of them as inspiration. So it's not fast and easy to make an oracle deck, you know, I have found, but it's a fun process. It's going to be time consuming, but fun. So I'm excited about that. And then my peeps over at Patreon are also helping me with like other like events that I'm doing and stuff they want to see on my channel. So if you would like to help support me in what I do, then I would absolutely encourage you to go over and join that KWT tribe. And you can help out for as little as like $1 a month. You know, I'm not asking for a big monetary commitment, and you get tons of freebies in the process. I mean, what? So that's it from me, spiritual homies. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will catch you spiritual homies later. All right, peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out.